In this video, we're going to be using the DentonMajik Unscented Game Changer Base along with the DentonMajik Masters of the Green Scenting Oil and also the vintage Gillette Fatboy razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB, and thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. As always, before we get into the content, a word from our sponsor, Leaf. This video is brought to you by our good friends at Leaf, and you know I love Leaf products. I love using the Leaf, which you've seen me use many times on the channel. I also love using the Twig. You've seen that a lot on the channel as well. If you'd like to save 5%, use discount code IAMCDB right there and save 5% while shopping with the good folks at Leaf. And now, back to the video. And all right, we are back, and let's get into it today. And today, we are using DentonMajik, and this is his unscented game changer base, which is tallow. And what I'm taken with immediately on this particular base is it is firm. You know, nothing coming off on my finger here. The last soap that I tried from Denton was very soft, and it's not in my wheelhouse preference-wise. The soft soaps will work just fine, but I like something that's a little more firm, and this certainly is that. This comes to you for $22.50 for 5.5 ounces, and on a cost chart that is $4.09 an ounce, which is a fair price. And I have to say, I like the container that he's put this soap in as well, as you can see there. I'd love to see a side label on it. I think that would be an improvement, but he does have all the ingredients on the bottom. But I'm glad at least you see the name of the soap and what it is on the top too, because I don't want to go looking on the bottom for all the information. I want to be able to easily identify a soap. This was sent to me, by the way, for evaluation. So today, what we're going to look to do is tell you whether I would buy this with my own money. That's always the objective when I'm using an evaluation product. I will say it lathered very nicely. I'm going to put the ingredients for you right there. Again, tallow-based soap. No problems whatsoever lathering it. It wasn't finicky. I'll show you a lather shot up there in the corner. It was nice and easy to work with, and I like the fact that it was a little more firm. The scenting oil is also from DentonMajik. You know, HC&C does this, and now DentonMajik is as well. And this one is, it's called Masters of the Green, and it is inspired by Green Valley Creed, and it is a very nice scent. What I did was popped about 3 drops into my mix here, and I think that'll put it right where it needs to be. It smells very nice. If you like Green Irish Tweed from Creed, you may very well like this fragrance as well. It's very nice to my nose. And these run, DentonMajik has different sizes. This one is 5 milliliters, and I believe he sells it for $6. So we will be testing that out today. The razor we are using has been tested many times. So this is the Gillette Fatboy. This one is E2, and I believe that is 1959. When they built these razors, they knew what they were doing. They built them to last. Still many of them out there in the wild, and the blade is Gillette Nacet on its 3rd and final use. I hope you folks are doing great. Let's get right into the shave today. I'm going to mist the face, and again, this mister and everything I'm using that can be found, I will link below for your convenience. And we shall see today what we think of the DentonMajik Game Changer base. The brush, by the way, is new. I got this from APShaveco. See if you can see the coin there. This is the Ebonite brush with a cashmere fan knot, and I love cashmere knots. And this brush feels really good in my hand. It is Ebonite, which I'm told is vulcanized rubber. And what is vulcanized rubber, by the way? Does that mean Spock touched this rubber and vulcanized it? There's a joke for the Star Trek nerds out there. Probably fell on a lot of deaf ears, but that is okay. Anyway, let's see how we do today. Man, the scent on this is fantastic. I love the scent. I'm not sure if I've ever experienced this particular Creed scent. I've smelled, no, I think I have. Maybe Murphy & McNeil has this one. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that, but it is a very nice scent. I like it a lot. But I'm thinking Murphy & McNeil might have it as well in one of their soaps. It's very nice. It's reminiscent of Green Irish Tweed, but by no means is it exactly like it. It is very nice, and I haven't seen it done as much as Green Irish Tweed has been done. And as you can see there from the lather, or I hope you can see, really nice, good quality. Honestly, folks, today, any reputable soap is going to be capable of being lathered in a really nice and creamy fashion. So you'll see this every single day. And I'll put my social media accounts over here, perhaps. You can follow those on Instagram. I take shots. I post my lather shots every single day. Takes a little extra time, but the point there is just to show you can really get a great lather with most soaps out there. So it's not super important to always buy the most expensive and the greatest or the allegedly greatest bases. Most of the soaps by soap makers out there today are quite good and capable of being lathered in a creamy fashion like this. Or at least that's my perspective from my pretty extensive testing of soaps over the years. All right, let's get going with the legendary Gillette Fatboy, which for me, and by the way, it's set on all the way up on 9. Because for me, most, not all, but most vintage razors are a little on the mild side in terms of blade feel compared to today's modern razors. It doesn't mean they don't shave effectively, because we will get an excellent shave with the Fatboy today. But just about all the vintage twist to open razors I find to be a little on the mild side, even if you turn them all the way up. Now you may prefer them on the mild side, and that is okay if you do. So you're certainly under no obligation to turn it all the way up to 9. You can adjust it as you go or keep it on a low setting, 2, 3, whatever you like. It's no big deal. Use your gear the way you like and the way that brings about the best result for you. This is very nice, very nice. And the scent on this is fantastic. So I'm loving the scenting oils idea and the scent your own idea. Now you've seen it mostly with HC&C, Pete from HC&C, but Pete wasn't the first one to do that. Actually, the first company that I saw doing it was Black Tie Shaving Company. And a lot of people may not have heard of them, but they were the first ones to try it, and for whatever reason it didn't take off. Pete with Hendrix has, I'm not sure why or how, but it's really taken off with him, and I think for good reason, because I love the concept, and I'm glad to see other people doing it as well. But just keep in mind, Pete started doing it because he thought it was something that the community could benefit from, scenting things to their own preference, and I agree. He did not know that Black Tie had done it at the time. And so, but it has been done. It's been done actually a couple of times before. So now DentonMajik has sort of entered the fray as well. And competition and options are a great thing. And so I'd say that DentonMajik here, Mark, is the gentleman's name, and he hails from Michigan. So you folks who are in Michigan, you have an artisan up there, Mark, who's got quite a good quality soap here. And now he's gotten into the sort of scent your own sort of thing as well. And I think that's fantastic. And I'm so glad and grateful for Pete to sort of give this sort of concept of scent your own more prominence, because without him I may not have tried it, to be honest, because I was skeptical, quite frankly. So I'm very grateful to Pete from HC&C, and I'm also glad to see that we'll have other options as well. Options are always a great thing. It keeps prices in check, when you have many artisans competing. And I think that's wonderful. And so this scent is fantastic, by the way. It is a home run scent. This is, again, Green Valley Creed, and it is phenomenal. Oh, and I think part of it is because, I've smelled Aventus type soaps and scents a million times, and actually Aventus itself. I smelled Green Irish Tweed soaps and Green Irish Tweed real fragrance many, many times. This one I haven't smelled quite as many times. Now, let me tell you another benefit of the scent your own. So let's say you have another soap, of which the only one that I'm aware of is maybe one of the Murphy and McNeil soaps has this scent. I don't think I've seen it otherwise in a soap, but I might be missing a few, so let me know below if there are any others that are inspired by this fragrance. But having this oil, what it does, even if you're not using the same brand of soap, so let's say I'm using the Murphy and McNeil version of the scent, if they have one. I think they do. And the scent is a little light. I could just pop a couple of drops of this Denton in there and get that scent right where it needs to be for my preference. And that is fantastic. Options are always a great thing, folks. A great thing indeed. So I am very grateful to the folks who are bringing this to the table. And I know some of the artisans have sort of poo-pooed this. They would prefer to do all the scenting and, do it themselves. But, and some from a cautionary perspective, they're afraid people are going to use too much. But I think what HCNC has proven so far is that people can handle this. You guys out there and gals, you are smart folks. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And so you do your research. You understand these things. And so far, these things have done very well. We're not hearing a lot of complaints from people. So I think it's important sometimes to understand that, you know, the shaving consumers out there are very intelligent people. Next level, in my opinion. They think about things, you know, one step further because they're here in traditional shaving. If you're here, that means you've been investigating. You're looking for a better way and you have found it. And so that already puts you ahead of the game, in my opinion. So I know there were some folks who thought, oh, you know, they're going to use too much. They're going to burn their face, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's working really, really well so far. And every single day, I'm hearing from people who are enjoying it even more. And so what I'm doing here is just relathering, and I'm going to go against the grain real quick and just get this side of my face out of the way. But anyway, I'm very thankful for these scenting oils and this sort of do-it-yourself concept, putting more control in the hands of the shaver, just like in the case of an adjustable razor like this. The manufacturer isn't saying, hey, I know that you need a 5. They're saying, hey, I'm going to give you many settings and then you can decide for yourself. I'm a big fan of that. Rockwell with multiple plates. The Blackland Era coming with multiple plates. Carve with multiple plates. Other razors like Timeless, putting more control in the hands of the shaver so you can get the best result possible. And for me, that is awesome and I'm a big fan. And as you can see here, we have plenty of residual slickness left over with the Game Changer base here. And the scent is just fantastic. And I had no problems with the soap either. So very nice, very nice. Now I would compare for you the cost of the unscented soap to scented soaps that DentonMajik has. But I don't think he has any scented soaps in the Game Changer base on his website. Or at least at the time when I checked, I didn't see any. So that was one of the things I was going to check, to see if the unscented was the same price as scented soaps, but he didn't have any, at least that I saw at the time of recording of this video, that were in the Game Changer base scented already. So I was going to see, because in theory, well, not in theory, in actuality, the scents cost money. So if you're adding scent to a soap, that will elevate the price of the soap. So if an artisan is selling an unscented soap, it should be a little bit cheaper than its scented counterparts for the same quantity. So if it's 5 ounces and it's $15 for scented, you would expect it to be a little less for unscented because they're not having to add that material or scent, excuse me. Very nice so far. Let's go ahead and relather that side. This has been a beautiful shade and I am loving this scent. So how does the base work here? How does it compare to Hendrix? Because that's what people are going to ask. So here's what I would say. Base-wise, I think this Game Changer base is quite decent indeed. I think the Hendrix HCNC base is a little better in terms of lathering for me. However, this is good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I had to work just a little bit more to get a creamy lather on this one, but it was by no means exhaustive. It was still easy. I think I prefer the Hendrix base a little bit more. Now keep in mind, this is the first time I've ever used this one, so I haven't had time to dial it in. But as you can see there, it is definitely good quality. But I think the HCNC base may be slightly easier to use. This one, however, is more firm. You might get a little more out of this one in terms of value, so there's something to consider, something to think about. And I believe Pete has reduced the price on his unscented base based on what we were talking about earlier about scent adding to the price. So have you ever seen anybody reduce prices on something that wasn't on sale? Not very many times. So that's really awesome. Now the scenting oils here, this one is fantastic. I love this scent. It is right up my alley. So would I buy this? Absolutely, without question. I love the scent. The scenting oil appears to be of good quality, at least in terms of I'm not getting any irritation. It has good scent strength based on the 3 drops I popped in there. No problems whatsoever with it, and so I am digging it. So yes, I would buy it. The base, if I had to choose between this one and Hendrix, I would buy the HCNC. But That is said with very limited use. So that's always something you consider. You should consider the first time you use something, you don't have it dialed in. You know, it takes time. And I've used the Hendrix base a number of times, so I'm more familiar with that, excuse me. And so, but to answer the question, I think both are safe choices to buy. And I would have no problem buying either the base. And the scent, absolutely home run for me. This one is fantastic. So there's my thoughts on that. And I've loved using the old vintage Fatboy. I don't use them a ton because I do prefer a little more blade feel. And the geometry of modern razors give you just a little bit more in that regard. But that's just a preference thing. This thing is still an amazing shaver. It shaves as well as any other razor I have. But it's just a preference thing. I prefer a little more blade feel. All right. That was a lot of fun. Let me rinse and then we'll come back and get into post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back, and off cam we did a warm water rinse to get rid of the soap, and then we used our PAA alum. There was no stinging after applying the alum, so super smooth shave. No nicks, cuts, creepers, weepers, irritation, bubbles, or troubles. Very nice shave. Following the alum, we did a cool water rinse, and then we towed off with our Lancaster towel prior to applying the Majik made by Thayer's Witch Hazel, easy for you to say, cucumber. The soap for today was DentonMajik Game Changer Base Unscented. It was very nice indeed, and something I want to show you is I rinsed out my bowl, and as you can see there, I still have some left in the bottom of the tub. What I find is that soaps that are more firm, I tend to have soaps left over, whereas soaps that are very soft, I don't. So you might get some additional value out of a soap like this that's a little more firm. It made a very nice lather, and I would say this is a safe buy for you. I do prefer the HCNC base slightly because I think I'm more familiar with it, but the first run with this was quite good. Thumbs up. The scenting oil, the DentonMajik scenting oil, Masters of the Green, terrific scent. I absolutely loved it. An absolute home run. Of course, our Fatboy, legendary 1959 Fatboy was a home run. I really enjoyed using that today. Our brush, APShaveco, the Ebonite, was phenomenal, and it's in our Lancaster Razorworks brush soaking mug. And today we're going to use the Quiet Man. This is Wet the Face, and it's always funny when I use Wet the Face. I'll show you a couple of shots here maybe in the corner. When I shake that up, I get a bunch of floaties in it, and I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's glycerin or something. I have no idea. But it's always funny to see those floaties in there. Maybe you can see it better on the picture. I don't know exactly what that is. I'm not particularly concerned about it, but most aftershaves don't have that, but I noticed it's a thing with Wet the Face. But still smells great, so I don't think there's any issue whatsoever with it. Oh man, just like that. We've had an amazing shave today. Thank you folks for joining me. I appreciate you very much. Until next time, I've been your host CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.